Thank you all for tuning back in to another episode of Broker Talk. I'm Larry Lawfer, your host each week, and we bring you real estate information you can use when you're buying or selling your home. It's a look behind the velvet rope. Today, we have a real rock star in the staging industry. She's received top awards for her work from the Real Estate Staging Association, HOWS, and the Home Staging and Real Estate Association. Just this year, Hannah won the Top Services recognition. She was named as one of the top 10 home staging companies in the entire stages. Now that the market is shifting back towards a buyer's market, the use of real marketing and staging will make the difference in a sale for the most money in the shortest period of time. I am thrilled to have Hana Latyn of EuroStaging as my guest today. Welcome to Broker Talk, Hannah. And while preparing for the show today, I was looking at some of the materials and I noticed that you never talk about money spent to stage. You talk about investing in your property in order to make it the most attractive property to purchase. Can you talk to me a little bit about that strategy?
Absolutely. Hi, Larry. Thank you so much for inviting me to your very special show. I'm truly honored. Thank you for the lovely introduction. And let's go straight to it. So, after 12 years of staging, I've dealt with thousands of home sellers. And as you know as well, at the very beginning, we have the job number one is to disconnect them from their home. It is not anymore their home, it is their property, it is their investment, it is their way for a future because they need to sell and move on. So I have tweaked even the way I'm talking with the home sellers over the years with the help of my husband Borino, and came to a language that is helping me to disconnect them from the emotional attachment to the home, and also understanding that anything they will put into their property to make it more desirable is an investment, right?
Yes.
So that's my point of view, and I would say about 80% of home sellers are actually hearing what I'm saying. We still have the 20% which might not get it, but that's only because the connection is too strong or they don't have the desire to move out. But that
Right.
I don't influence.
Right. Core driving emotions, you need to understand them from the people when you work with them. And that's one of the things that stagers and real estate agents, realtors work in conjunction with each other. And you have to be able to understand what those core driving emotions are for someone. But I have heard, I heard it from you a number of years ago that the cost of staging is always less than your first price reduction because it didn't sell.
Well, you tell me, when you have a listing and then there is the difficult talk with the seller that property is not selling, it's becoming more as a stale listing, or it becomes comparison with the other homes in the neighborhood. What will be the percentage? Let's say if we go low on a $500,000 home, or maybe, I don't know, in our neighborhood, the properties are around 800,000. So what would be the first reduction? What do you think?
Well, traditionally here in this area and in the other states where I have license, you drop 10%. If you're dropping less than 10%, so if you're 800,000, that's 80,000. Yeah, that's a
I wish to earn that money for staging.
I know, I
So
know.
that
Yeah.
answers the question. Home staging, even if it's a vacant luxury, well, we are not talking about Malibu villas, right? But we are
Yeah.
talking about regular homes we are dealing with on daily basis. The reduction is always way higher than the investment in staging or even basic
Yeah.
repairs or paint.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
yes, yes.
But when you're talking about that with a client, and then they have to pony up the money in advance, you have to be very careful about explaining to them that you're just lending the house this money. That money is going to come back to you in the sale. So when you own a home, you invest in it anyway, because uh, so you don't only just stage for sales, but you are, in fact, somewhat of an interior designer, are you not?
So in the last 3 years, the market has been so crazy. It was a seller's market. I have to say that we decided to fully focus only on home staging,
Yeah.
and all the other design work we would refer to our colleagues who were less busy with staging.
Yes.
However, I have a new lady joining our team whose background is in interior design, so we will be adding that to our services, because very often our clients, they just move in the neighborhood, and after they see staged home, they go like, oh, can you help me with my new home? So yes, we will be adding it, but in the last 3 years we were mainly focusing on the staging.
So talk to me about how you got into the business, because you came into the business, and thank God you can smile about this now.
So it's very personal story, but I at the beginning I felt very insecure about sharing how I started my home staging business. However, it has helped and inspired a lot of people around me, so I feel more confident about sharing that EuroStaging really started out of a pure desperation. It was in 2010 when I went through or started very complicated divorce. I'm originally from Czech Republic. Both of my children were born in the Czech Republic, and anyway, when I started a divorce, I realized that I'm unable to move back to Europe and go to my old job, and I had to reinvent myself. And as you know, living in America is fairly expensive, and a single mom with two little kids, back then they were 4 and 6. That's tough.
Yeah.
I was living in a basement. I was on a food stamps. Some my friends would bring me food, which did not feel very good, but I was extremely thankful for that. And at that very difficult time, a friend of mine, Elisa Dubois, offered me a job as an assistant in her real estate business. So that's how I got into real estate, just printing papers, delivering goods. And I would be bringing, let's say, artwork or pillows to a properties she was listing. And at one point, I asked her, Lisa, what am I doing? And she told me, Hannah, you are staging. You're helping me to stage the listing. Back then, Lisa did her stagings. And I thought about it. Wow, I don't really need any college education. I am not college educated. I can just learn it on the go. I can get some certificates on the go. And I don't really need to deal much with people, because I'm just dealing with houses. I'm moving furniture. I'm adding flowers. I'm adding artwork. So this is how Hannah the Stager was born in 2010, and went through a lot of steps, a lot of mistakes, and a lot of evolution into now I have 8 employees. My warehouse is over 6,000 square foot big. We are staging approximately on average 30 homes per month.
Wow.
And yeah, yes.
Wow.
So, but everything happened little step by step. Yes.
Right, right. And the way that you can stage so many houses is that you're in Falls Church, Virginia, so you have three states that are close by. Um, uh, the reason why I wanted to tell you that story is because in this show we hear so many people starting in a business, and they were in desperate modes, and then they just stick with it. They're consistent. They love it. It's not easy, but it becomes easier when you focus and you love something. And that's why I'm thank you for sharing that. I know how successful you are, and thank you for all that you do for all of we agents. um, you have a number of reasons why you believe that staging saves money. And I just kind of wanted to go through a couple of them. You will make more money. We already said that. Your house will sell faster. That's, of course. We just talked about it's not an expense, it's an investment. Leaving your house as is. Now that's always the other side of the thing. You're talking to somebody and say, "Well, I can't afford, I don't have $5,000. I don't have $8,000, whatever the number is, and we'll just sell it as is." They are not likely to get that $8,000 and they're going to get much less. But that's a hard sell if you don't have that cash. I do know some agents will actually stage the property themselves out of their own. I think that's absolutely crazy, but some people do and consider it a service. Do you see agents do that, or are you paid mostly by the homeowner?
So there are, I like to compare my business, home staging, to a restaurant. Okay.
Okay.
You can get food from a little hot dog stand on a street, but you can also go to a 5-star restaurant. Or there is also something in the middle, right? That goes for staging as well. And I also understand that not always there is a budget, or there might be a complicated situation, which let's not even go there. So there are options. Sometimes the home is in a really good condition and can almost go as is on a market.
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes it just needs a little spruce up, adding some pop of a color and artwork. And those agents, some of them who are not as busy, maybe they have 4 or 5 listings a year, they have enough time to devote to the staging. I still, do you see, it's still some form of a service, but we are
It is.
comparing, you can never compare hot dog with the steak. You can never compare beer budget with the champagne. So let's be kind to anyone who is trying to sell the house, because it is so stressful and it is very, very painful, and it's scary at times.
Yeah.
What I like to, I'm always looking for new ways how to navigate home sellers. I
Yeah.
don't want to persuade them. We are busy, but I want to navigate them. So for example, I am using HGTV. Do you know some HGTV shows? Right?
Me?
I'm sure yeah.
Yeah.
Have you seen some,
Yeah.
So that is the standard we are experiencing now, especially in the USA, because people, they love to watch TV. People like to watch HGTV. Ladies like to shop in the home goods. And there's the level or the expectation has completely gone through the roof. So now everyone who is buying a home wants to fall in love, wants to feel treated, wants to share the pictures. Look at my house I am buying. They might not be buying the staging, they might not be buying the furniture, but they're buying into emotions.
Right.
So all of these can help home sellers to find and validate the investment in staging, home repairs, lawn, gardening, new fresh paint, all of that comes in place and absolutely helps to sell faster, get more money, get the money they invested in, and get more qualified buyers. So that's all what we are aiming for. Home staging is form of marketing.
It is marketing.
Yeah.
And what's interesting to me is that you talked about HGTV. HGTV has been horrible for the real estate industry because
Yes.
it's not real. People think that they can go in a half hour. And it's so easy to negotiate. I just called. It's not like that at all. And I don't think we'd want to do a real show where you see the ins and outs of things because there are times when it makes absolutely no sense because of the emotions involved. You can have a
Yeah.
multi-million-dollar sale that can be derailed for $1,000 item that one person doesn't want to give up or the other person wants. It's like it makes absolutely no sense. So I'm no fan of HGTV, but I do pay attention to it.
Same here, because very often when people like to know how much money and all of that stuff, they are so lowballing home staging. They would say staging was $600. Well, that might be just cost of the mover one way. So but I am just using the HGTV as a point of reference when it comes to the presentation and look of the property.
Hmm.
But then definitely the cost is somewhere else, but that's another chapter.
I don't know if you remember this. I still use it to this day.
We all
Uh,
need it. Everyone who is working in a real estate industry needs one.
I never take it to a client, but I do use it here when I'm doing the show because um, the worst thing in the world is to tell anybody who's not calm to be calm. That's like gasoline on the fire. Just calm down. Yeah. Oh, okay.
Push a button.
Yeah. 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 Um, I find that staging and having someone who, well, first of all, before you even stage, when you're talking to the people, the first act of staging is decluttering. Let's talk about the declutter part. Do you get involved in that? Do you go through the house and like people will have stuff that they love, they like. I have a chair I sit in every day. My wife thinks it's nasty. It's my chair and I like it, and I know someday I'm going to wake up or come downstairs and that chair will be gone and there'll be a new chair that I'm going to hate for a couple of months, but then it will then become my chair. But people with the declutter part have issues with that because they love all of it.
Yeah, there. I've seen so many houses, and some of it I cannot unsee. But I would say the worst case of a hoarder situation I've seen was a garage where the whole floor was covered with stuff like up my eyes. And but you know what, at that point, that's very specific situation
Right.
when probably the whole family is involved and everything has to be taken out.
Right.
What you were describing, let's say regarding the one silly chair, that has to be covered during staging assessment or
Yeah.
evaluation.
Yeah.
But we are previewing the homes, and it is our work or our job to be the bad guys on
Yeah.
behalf of the realtor who is the good guy. And we have to openly discuss every possible updates, still in a reasonable budget, new
Yeah.
light fixtures, new flooring, if and anything what is really necessary for selling the property and leveling it up to another homes in the same neighborhood, or making it a little notch nicer so the property stands out. Yeah,
How?
and then when it comes to decluttering, as per se, there are businesses who are especially focusing on this part. So I've done a couple jobs to declutter back when I started my home staging career. That is very intense work, and it is very often emotional because you just feel the other people's emotions when they have to let go of something, and they really, it's hard. That part is hard, yes.
Yeah, it is. Um, when you are first talking to an agent for the first time, they've heard about you. They want what you do for them. How do you talk to them for the first time? Because I know the times I've had stagers, I just said, "Tell me what you're good at." I deal mostly in older homes. I live in New England, and we've been around since the 1600s. So you often have really beautiful old homes that sometimes have antiques and all of that. But the current market isn't for antique homes. I mean, antiques in homes. It's more contemporary. So how do you convince an agent, or what do you say to that agent in that kind of a situation?
Well, that depends. We are servicing Washington D.C. as well, and we have a lot of beautiful old Victorian homes, and they can actually sell with the same architecture features, as long as they are painted and floors are refinished and the bathroom is not from 1600.
There would be no bathroom inside in
And it has a
1600.
flushing toilet, right? And preferably warm water. But right now, the trend in DC is that there are a lot of investors who are completely gutting everything on the inside, bringing the new modern style, what buyers are looking for, because they've been watching too much of a HGTV. However, when I meet our client for the first time, a realtor, I basically have a conversation first to see what they need, to see if we are a good match. You know, I need to know where they are mostly listing houses, how busy they are, if we can add them to our existing clientele, what is their expectation. Also, if they understand the level of investment when it comes
Right.
to home staging, I have to educate them about pricing,
Right.
and how, you know, so also some of the agents, they pay for staging,
Yeah.
some of the agents, they pay 50-50, some might chip in $500, $1,000, and some don't pay at all. So all of this needs to be covered when we first meet. And then luckily we stage so many properties, so it's very easy to send them samples of a new construction
Right.
condo or normal home in my own neighborhood, so we can, the pictures speak a thousand word. But I would say that we have a variety of our VIP clients, and we tweak our service to what they want and how they want it. Yes.
Sure, sure. Well, I know that you have children. We talked about them. Would you would you ever consider having Lily or Philip work with you, or do you think they'd want to do this? They've certainly watched you. I know that they've loaded your truck a number of times.
So I have to admit that even at the early stages, when I would get some shabby chic furniture off the street, today we will not talk about dumpster diving, but that happened too. But those were the beginnings. So they would help me to clean up the stuff and paint it. And later on, as they were growing bigger, I would have them on the team. And in this year, actually, Philip was a true employee in my business. And Lily, she can stage a home. She can definitely stage the home.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. I've seen you guys at work in some of the videos. Where can people find you? Is it EuroStaging.com? Where would people find you?
I think the best place, the most vibrant, would be in my Instagram account. So if they do hashtag EuroStaging, right? Euro is for the Europe, staging is for the staging. That's how they can find me, and see our daily adventures. I like to do before and after. I
Yeah,
like to introduce our team, and I'm definitely communicate. So even if they are not from Northern Virginia, Maryland, or DC, hey, we can be friends on social media, because our real estate industry, you know, I have friends all over the United States. Yes.
sure, sure. And I have actually sent stagers from the Boston area to your site to look at what you're doing.
Thank you.
Yeah, well, you're very active in both of the associations and continue. Um, Good people, let's go beyond that. Great people are willing to share. It's fearful people that don't want to tell you anything that they're doing, like they have reinvented the wheel, and there's only one way.
Well, when you think about it, a home staging industry is fairly new industry, right? It goes maybe back 20 years or 25. And I can see how in our area, which is very vibrant, a lot of people are moving in and out, there is continuously new influx of stagers.
Yeah,
The big problem they are making, they are not charging enough to support the business, to support their salary, to pay for gas, to buy new inventory. and I see myself 12 years ago. So I do have a need to help them, and I do have a need to tell them you need to charge. So you have salary, and you
Yeah,
can afford movers, you can afford a
right.
help to provide a good service, because you
Right.
know it yourself. As a realtor, you have a lot of expenses with the property you are listing or buyer you have. So
Right.
yes, so there needs to be a balance, and this is not a hobby what we do.
No, no, it's not. It's not a hobby. And the thing with real estate agents, and they how they make their living, we don't make a dime until something is bought or sold. All of that work, all of that time that you spend is unpaid until you get something closed, and everything that you put in up front is out of your pocket. It's not out of the client's pocket or anything. And again, you might make that back, or that might be the thing that differentiates you. Like, I'll do the staging for you. If it comes down to two agents, both of them are considered competent and capable, and one is going to pay for your staging and one isn't, well, the likelihood of the agent who is paying for the staging is going to make less money, but they're going to get the listing. So it really, you have to think it through, because we as self-employed uh, independent contractors, we determine what our value is. It's not somebody saying, well, I'll give you this much. It's no, you need to know what your value, your own personal value is, and for your time, and work within that, because otherwise you get angry, you get frustrated, and you're going to mail it in. The worst thing in the world is to be average at this job, because there are lots and lots and lots of people who are well above average. And even though people don't buy and sell too many houses in their lifetimes, there are literally thousands, hundreds of thousands of houses that are sold every single year.
Yeah.
And you want to be where the good people are, and where you can make a living and take a vacation and enjoy a European visit to maybe Prague, for instance, or somewhere else. Prague would be an interesting. I know it's your hometown, isn't Prague your hometown? Yeah, my wife has been there. I've never been there. She loves it, or has loved it, but she likes to travel. I must have been doing something that week. I'm just looking at your About Us. Oh, what's interesting about you is how you state that you're licensed and insured. Most of the people that I work with are always insured, because you're moving stuff in and out, and things happen. Things fall off, things break, and you have to be insured for that. But very few of them in this area are licensed. What kind of a license do you get?
Well, that's like a Virginia license of conducting a business here. Then we have insurance as a business, and then we also have a workers' compensation. I need to be bulletproof to protect what we have created
Yeah,
and our team. So in case anyone, I hope not, would have any accident, we are covered. So
right.
everything is by the book. Yes.
Did you become an LLC or did you become an S-corp? This is like a whole different kind of question, but
Yeah, so I am still an LLC. I should have changed to SCorp like 2 years ago, but there is I I can only do so much. So end of last year, I was changing warehouses, going from small to this big, beautiful place, and I believe that we really cannot multitask. So I always focus on one big thing. So turning into SCorp, that's a plan toward the end of this year.
yeah,
Yes,
yeah,
that's another move. I am adding more part-time employees, and adding more services just to balance it out, because the market is slowing down a little bit, and I see an opportunity to service in more fields to our
right,
clients. Yeah.
right. And the fact is, the market is drastically changing right now. We've had 2 years. I saw a post on one of the sites recently today. It's like, dear agents who started in 20 20, 2021, 22. Sometimes houses don't sell and you can lower the price or something like that. You know, it's like it's a buyer's market now. But we're going to have a lot of people falling out of the industry because it's harder when it's harder. Um,
Yes, yes. I am looking forward the slowdown because as you said, last 3 years we've been just running with furniture. It was like flipping houses. Houses were sold before even coming on the market. We lost a handful of jobs because of that. But now, yeah, time has changed. Yes, it's okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all good as long as you have enough going on. You're talking to enough people. When you're good at things, people want and need you. Is there anything we haven't talked about? This time
Oh
goes
my
by
goodness.
so
We
quickly.
need to, oh, we can schedule so many calls. Let's see what your viewers would like to talk about. We can
S-
talk about virtual staging. We can talk about pricing. I can speak for my business and my environment. We can talk about trends maybe early next year. We can talk about the power of a vacant staging versus occupied staging. There are so many topics, yes, but I think we are running out of time.
we certainly are, and I'm so happy that you were part of this. I look forward to having you come back very soon. Thank you, Hana Latyn of EuroStaging. Our pleasure.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Bye
Yeah.
bye.
Tune in next week for another great show. Thanks for tuning in for this one.
Recording stopped.